Hey guys, so last time I talked to you, I think I had just decided I was going to pull out the motor, which according to that time-lapse video you just saw, we went ahead and did. And I was able to pull it out without removing this hood or without removing the radiator. It's actually kind of, you know, a lot of motors are hard to pull out and you're going to run into some snags, but considering how many components were in here, it was fairly easy to do. And I didn't run into too much trouble. Something I did do that I would recommend not doing was I pulled the motor off of the transmission with the torque converter still attached to the motor. And the reason I did that was because I could not find a way to access these bolts on the back side. But now that I have it pulled out and I'm able to look at it, I can see that this whole piece stretching underneath is separate from the motor itself, and I didn't realize that before. So if you just take off these two bolts and then these two bolts and you pull that out, you'll be able to access the bolts to the torque converter before you pull the motor out. And what that will do is give you a clean break to pull the motor away instead of having to worry about pulling that off the splines and maybe causing some damage in there, which I think I was able to get it out okay. But it definitely made it more of a hassle. So if you're gonna pull your motor and leave your transmission, definitely recommend doing that before it's pulled. Other than that, it came out fairly easy. And so at this point, I've ordered the parts and I got them ready. Some new pistons and everything. Excited about that. Yeah, looks cool. All right, but I waited on getting the crankshaft bearings until I get this mounted on here and get to flip the motor over, pop it open, and see what kind of condition the crankshaft's in, because if I have to machine it a little, I'm probably going to have to get bearings that match the specs. So I'm trying to get away without machining anything on this. I know I would highly recommend getting it machined regardless, because you could run into some possible issues or leaks or such on there if it's warped at all. But because I'm just turning this around and selling it, and I'm really not going to make much profit at this point, I'm trying to keep my costs as low as possible. I just want to get it put back together. I do want to do it correctly, but as cost efficiently as possible. So it's just trying to find that balance there. If I do have to machine it, I will, but hopefully we can get away without it. So that's where we're at, and I'll keep you updated as we move along. Maybe I'll do another time lapse of getting this on here and just flipped around.